Bing bada bingy banga. Bing bada the bingy banga. Bing bada the bingy banga.
Convertible style in the all-new HP Omnibook AI PC.
August 20. 그리고 이 점은 좀 더 우리가 더 준비해온 것 같다라는 게 좀 있어요. Right, they made themselves their home region get an extra slot, and they qualified through that extra slot. They got themselves in PMGO over here in PMSL EU. So really good stuff from Regnum Karya. Silas, we have to say, he won PMGC. He's won now PMGO. If he wins PMWC here at 2025, he could be the only player in the world to have won all 3 big global events, which would be historical for him to make that happen today.
And the crazy part is that for the year, I mean, he could hit the global Grand Slam for PUBG Mobile, winning PMGO, maybe possibly winning PMWC, and we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with that team at PMGC. By the way, my picks, pretty much underdogs. Okay, teams that I think are going to end up going to survival stage, but teams, some of them not, but some of the other teams that I think they're actually going to be going to grand finals. But one team that I think a lot of people are expecting to be in grand finals is Regnum Karya. So let's take a look at this video.
Regnum Karya esports have had one of the most emotional and unpredictable journeys in PUBG Mobile esports history. Just last year, they suffered a heartbreaking loss at PMGC 2024, falling short of the title by just 2 points. It was the kind of finish that sticks with you, the kind that can either break a team or push them to come back even stronger. And for Regnum Karya, it lit a fire. At the heart of this roster is Silas, who's chasing PUBG Mobile immortality. If Regnum Karya lift the trophy this year, Silas will become the first ever player in PUBG Mobile history to win every major global event, an unprecedented accomplishment. Beside him stand Wild and Loxy, the mechanical powerhouses with the ability to swing team fights in seconds. Tospic though brings consistency and calm in chaotic moments, often acting as the glue that holds the team together. They came into PMGO 2025 with something to prove, and they proved it. From the earlier stages all the way to the finals, Regnum Karya looked like a team on a mission. Their plays were sharp, their teamwork was on point, and when the pressure was highest, they delivered. They walked away as PMGO champions, not only lifting a trophy, but also securing an extra PMWC qualification slot for their region in the upcoming PMSL. That extra slot, it ended up meaning everything. In PMSL 2025, Regnum Karya started strong, but found themselves in a tough fight during the finals. And despite their efforts, they finished in 4th place, just outside the standard qualification spots for PMWC. After everything they fought for, it looked like the World Cup dreams were slipping away again. But the very slot they had earned by winning PMGO ended up saving them. Because of that extra spot, their 4th place finish was enough. They qualified for PMWC not through the front door, but through the one they built themselves earlier. From barely missing out on the biggest title in 2024 to becoming champions at PMGO and then scraping into PMWC through sheer grit and timing, Regnum Karya's 2025 season has been a roller coaster. And now, with a second chance on the world stage, they'll be looking to finish what they started.
I mean, Regnum Karya has just been on an absolute tear. We saw what they were able to do at PMGO. Can they maybe
now for the go against them because
don't want to run into
lagging.
Want to increase your chances of getting interview calls on Naukri? Here's what most people don't know about.
So many things in past, like communication, synergy, team game. That's why we got 1v3, 1v4 so many times. But in this gap, we
us at one point. Reflections and I were like, are they gonna make it or are they not gonna make it? Luckily they did end up making it. They're defending it. Is that one team that we're feeling like that
high? We were talking with
to that survival before we started the show, and the main thing that I told him is whatever you do not start slow, do not play that catch up. And that was one team that told me, you know what, we don't really want to go to that survival stage. We want to go straight to grand finals because we want to be able to have a little bit of extra research, and that could be something that benefits teams.
Yeah, survival stage, yucky. You don't know. Don't worry. That great analysis here on the desk. You know, like you want to try and avoid it. That would be my personal approach because you're putting your position for the finals at risk.
Yeah.
You would just want to get there as early as possible because
true.
otherwise, chances are you might not qualify through the survival stage.
Oh, I mean, sometimes those teams like to have that pressure on their shoulders. They become diamonds. But then sometimes they end up crushing and they get exposed for just
Piece of coal.
for not really being able to do that. But for Alpha 7, we'll have to wait and see what that's going to be happening with that team. As you mentioned, this is one of the strongest lobbies, if not the strongest lobby we have seen, I think, in many years. And we can go on.
The goal isn't to simply compete, it's to bend, break, and dominate your opponents. This week is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what unfolds. My name is Barney Banks, and I am privileged to be your host for the PMWC at the 2025 Esports World Cup. 24 teams will enter the Gidea Arena and battle through the group stage, the survival stage, and of course, the grand finals. All with $3 million in sight, and of course, this stunning PMWC trophy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think it is time to kick off today by introducing your teams for day one of the group stage, starting with AXTMG. Nongshim Red Force. Weibo Gaming. Yangon Galacticos. Hora Esports. Power Esports. Regnum Carrier Esports. Four Thrives Esports. Fireflux Esports. Team Vision. Influence Rage. Arena. Team Secret. DRX. And now, your reigning club champions, Team Falcons! And finally, your reigning champions of the PUBG Mobile World Cup at the Esports World Cup, Alpha 7 Esports! The journey to this point, it has been tough, but the real work begins now. It is going to absolutely pop off here on the main stage, so get comfortable. Who has what it takes to perform under the bright lights? Could the reigning champions do it once again? We spoke with Alpha 7 Esports earlier this week to find out.
Alpha 7 Esports have long been the kings of their region, dominating every tournament they enter, but on the global stage, close enough to touch victory yet always watching it slip away like under a curse, finishing second or third in the biggest events. Time and time again, they came close to glory, only to fall just short. That curse weighed heavy. The world saw their talent. They proved their strength regionally, but the ultimate global crown remained out of reach. Then in 2024, everything changed. At 2024 PMWC, Alpha 7 finally broke the cycle against all odds on the biggest stage in PUBG Mobile. They delivered the performance of a lifetime, champions, the first team from Americas to ever lift the World Cup. It was more than a victory, it was a statement. But since then, the roster has slightly shifted with McGrellin out. At the heart of Alpha 7 is Revo, a PUBG Mobile legend and basically an MVP magnet. The guy's consistent, clutch, and always in the spotlight.
Revo jumps out from 364, and that's the second as well. Revo.
Then there's Carrillo, the team's IGL and mastermind who calls the shots like a chess grandmaster, always 3 moves ahead. Mafioso and the newcomer Squash bring the heat with insane mechanics and nerves of steel, ready to turn any fight on its head. And honestly, Carrillo's not just the brains, he's got the highlight plays to back it up and he's hungry for more. But being a champion means the target on your back never goes away. Alpha 7 entered 2025 with a different kind of pressure, the pressure to defend, to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, that the crown belongs to them. In PMSL America Spring, Alpha 7, who have long dominated the regional PMSL, didn't just bounce back. They crushed it once again with relentless consistency and their trademark aggression. They maintained their undefeated reign at home while proving their strength internationally. A third-place finish secured their ticket back to PMWC. Not as underdogs, not as challengers, as defending champions. From South America to the global stage set in Riyadh, Alpha 7 isn't just back, they never left.
PUBG Mobile fans, prepare yourselves, for we're about to kick off 2025 in style. Things are going to be explosive, exciting, and damn right disgusting out there today, Blank. I cannot wait to see how this lobby's looking and how the first day of competition goes here live in Riyadh.
Criminal roster of players across all teams here in the EWC, the PMWC. We've got Team Falcons coming in through here, coming off the big win over in PMSL EU, and Koa with his signature sunglasses on deck.
Man, it's going to be a treat. So many teams that are absolutely stacked this year. I think that's the rhetoric we're all kind of looking at. Damn, all right, little bit of a flourish as well. Yeah, it works, I'm digging it, Blank. I'm digging the stage too. I think that's one of the fun elements that we're bringing to you this time around. Such a different style, the dynamic nature of it, it really embodies what the scene's looking like today.
You know, even earlier on, I got the chance to, take a little step into the stage during scrims. You have players shouting at one another from across the room. It was good stuff. But the dance has already had some nice discussions about how they feel teams will fare. I think one of the more interesting discussions that was had was about Weibo Gaming. Yeah. Honestly, I think that they're absolutely right and correct in the fact that, China just hasn't been a powerhouse for a long, long time, despite, being straight off the mark very, very early on in PUBG Mobile. But that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, the optics for it, the potential chance, it's literally what me and Max were setting up back at the start of the day, right? Who's going to be that upcoming challenger? You've got a lot of X's on Alpha 7, a lot of targets. People are looking at them, right? They're aware now you're coming in. Everyone's looking hot, Blank. Other regions looking to try and have an opportunity to snatch at that trophy, rip it away from them. And we saw how motivated and close Reject came last year. not in the building this time around. Someone else has to come up and show us what they're made of. And I think there really is. Is a definitive chance that we get a different champion this year. I'm not actually even expecting the two-time possibility blank. With how stacked this event is, I feel like it would be so much work for Alpha 7. They're going to need to give us their A game through and through.
Well, like Yagami in the building. We do have like a bit of an issue, right, in terms of the fact that Alpha 7 barely made it in. Regnum Karya barely made it in. Yeah. Team Falcons, they didn't look super smooth making over towards that top spot. They still took it. But Regnum Karya, Alpha 7, those are your two teams that a lot of eyes are on them. And Max put it perfectly in the sense that Regnum Karya earned their own spot coming through from PMGO. But if they'd come second in that PMGO, damn dude, they wouldn't be here sitting on this stage today. So again, there needs to be some big improvements from both those teams. Alpha 7, I want to see them have that hunger once again that we saw them, where they were pacing all the time to try and pick themselves up a win. Forever second place, that team.
Yeah, the Cinderella story, right? Forever the bridesmaid, never the bride. They were finally able to have that success story, and what a time for it. I do like as well, it's the way it kind of plays in, right, with the stage, them in the middle, risen up. But is that the true lay of the land? Like you're saying, the differential of how this year is going to be looking once we really start to kick things off. A lot of excitement, a lot of talent. That's really what we're looking at here. I mean, to be honest with you, I think everyone at home this year is going to be in for a treat. Day in, day out, back-to-back blank. So much PUBG Mobile, and you need to make sure you clear your schedule to fit it all in, because it's going to be world-class.
All right, this is a feast. It's going to be calorific on the stage, and it will be treats back-to-back. Some sweeties for the PUBG Mobile fans.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of bonbons been thrown in there.
Sugar Rush gameplay.
But yeah, I think the interesting thing here right now is you can see it's quite pensive in the room, quite pensive.
Yeah.
Where we're all on 0 points right now. You know, no one's...
Got it! Simply Guitar is the best app for beginners. This was me before I got it.
Got that head jump start where they're feeling a little bit more confident at the position in this tournament. We're just waiting to get into our first game here. I believe we're very, very close to go, so don't worry.
Headsets
it is coming.
Yeah. Man, it's exciting as well, because I think, you know, you raise a good point there, Blank, where kind of the bookends of the entire event, right, having that nature of opening game, where everyone's on same points, nil point, nothing to play with, right? It's why it feels so intense, because there is those moments of like, all right, we don't actually even know the full reverberations of some of the outcomes from this map for quite some time. It's why it makes it kind of fun, it makes it exciting to see how it's going to go. I'll tell you what I do enjoy as well. Seeing quite a few mascots this year. People have got like the little teddy bears out. People are feeling it, bro.
I'll tell you what, the mascots are out, the jerseys are starting to become a little bit more creative. It's quite nice to see, honestly. I think Alpha 7 did have like a little bit of a part in that. I think that they would, with them having the holographic jersey for so long now, a lot of the teams decided, you know what, we gotta bring the faction game up just a little bit.
Gonna make the most of it. Strapped up, getting themselves ready. Yeah, it feels like the competition's starting to heat up at this point, but who's going to be able to beat the heat? That's the question. So much to play for here. Ridiculous lion's share of prize pool on the line. The glory, the legacy, the opportunity for so many of these teams, players, regions, all building to all be an explosive 2 weeks live from Saudi Arabia.
It's not how you want to start things, though, with a tangle. That's the worst way to start things here.
Make sure you get the left in the left here. Don't get them muddled up.
You're locked in as soon as those headphones go on. Quite a few of the teams that are coming through from Americas. I do worry for Americas a little bit, honestly, just because they're quite an aggressive region. I think the one thing that does play into, definitely when we get through to those finals. But we'll be starting things off here over on Sandhog.
Oh yes, here we go. This is what we were waiting for. The anticipation building, the environment, the stage, the fight, the clash between all of our teams. Day in, day out, the PUBG Mobile World Cup. It starts right here, right now.
We got the honey plane, so we certainly bring in the sugar, like we were saying. And this is the first treat of the day. And all our players ready to go. Al Haji, you can spot him straight away down the bottom left. He is a big powerhouse inside of PUBG Mobile. Excited to see what he can do. Constantly coming back to the big stage.
Oh yeah, fan favorite for the region as well. Everyone was going absolutely ballistic in the crowd last year whenever they'd see Al Haji popping off. I can't wait to see what he'll do this time around. Power gaming, never disappoint, buddy.
And there's Silas, top right. One of the best players in the world. I think that's an undisputed fact to throw that one out there. Let's see if he can lead his team to victory. Max was saying over on the desk, a very consistent roster so far overall. We're jumping straight into things though. 4 thrives over towards Hatin on a hot drop to start things off, Jackie. And Nongshan Red Force also down towards Ruins.
Well, let's see how this goes once we get into the action here and see what things are going to be developing like, obviously with those early hot drops, Blank. It's always exciting, mate. This is one of those where we get a little bit of a telltale sign as well if teams are going to pull off with some of these more default drops if it goes wrong.
We're already losing one. That's over towards Power. So 4 thrives currently thriving over towards Hatin. We're on board with AX and Nongshan Red Force in the Ruins.
Scrambling to grab themselves some bits and bobs to fight with. Nongshan Red Force taking a bit of a dink towards the backside as well. DBS is in play. They start to make their move. This is real rough as well for Power, Blank. I mean, down to just one man left standing already. I know I was hyping him up a little bit, kind of a fan favorite for the crowd, but that is not a dream start whatsoever.
And 4 thrives, 3 eliminations, 4 players still up and kicking. And they will be kicking Power out from Hatin going forward. On the other hand, Nongshan Red Force taking a fair bit of damage. AX currently looking a lot more healthy here compared to them. Controlling on the outside of Ruins right now. A little bit tough when you get on the back foot here, especially in terms of meds. A lot of these rooms do get cut off, and AX is starting to increase their domain within the Ruins itself.
The opportunity to play with, though. Some weapons established there. Henry in the back line with the DBS on deck as well, waiting for the close range. A little bit of scouting, keep your distance. No overcommit. They're aware of each other.
This could be good, though, for Team Falcons, of all teams, actually. Head up towards that north side. We know that Ralph does like to scout out towards Ruins in the first place, and with the circle going over towards the east, if you can cut out 2 teams from Ruins, you open up a very consistent, easy path over towards Painan. Here's a replay coming through. All the action that went down over towards Hatin. It was a rough and tumble of a start there for Power.
Yeah, brutal on the replay, catching the highlights from that one actually for Power Gaming. Mid-looting, quick to the drop, just able to make the play on it. Always the chance for maybe a little bit of acclamation if you can stay alive. One player in the opening moments, first 15 seconds, yeah. Not the sort of sight that you'd like to see.
Ooh, nice.
Beautiful peek on it, Blank.
Yeah, good catch. Very, very good catch. And again, to be honest with you, AX, with the amount of control they've had throughout the entirety of this fight, they want to conclude this soon. They know they need to go towards that eastern side as well.
I can teach you code in Python in just 30 days, even if you've never written a single line of code before. How? By using artificial...
Circle popped.
Equal trade so far. Looking to close the gap with the DBS, but the quick burst back over, looking pretty good actually. These trades though, so messy. Either side taking heavy hits, and looking to see if they can convert. DBS just spamming out the shots. Need to play medic, get Henry back on his feet. Got the elevated fight, wide swing out on the corner, drop down into it. And there you have it. Come out on top in the end, being able to shut down the Red Force. Nongxing out on that one as AX will survive. Bit of a nail biter, but they get through it.
I mean, for AX, fans of that team will be very pleased with that one. And honestly, it's not what I was expecting. I'm happy to be surprised in that as well, because the control they had on that fight was spectacular. A lot of teams, when we see like this kind of an improvement and then heading over towards EWC, it was sort of a surprise pick for us coming through. I was excited to see it. I'm very, very surprised to see that kind of control coming through early. Now, the question is whether they can do that kind of thing to a much more consistent team with Lobby. We're looking at scarier teams. Alpha 7, DRX, Ragnar Kaya, Weibo Gaming. Can they kind of have that success versus them? We'll wait and see. But to start things off, that was very, very clean by the books.
Even just to get the nerves out of the way immediately as well, like the caliber of the stage you've immediately been thrown into, mate. It's one of those where that feels so good for you compared to the outcome of losing that.
Especially as a special invite as well, because in a lot of instances when we have that invite come through, a lot of times that team doesn't do amazingly well, but it's nice to have them here. But this is a very keen team to start things off, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed to start things off. Here's Regnum Kaya on your screens. Currently up towards Cal right now on the north side of the map. Locked in a fray though with Weibo Gaming. We might just be able to get some answers nice and early. Weibo versus Regnum Kaya, how that pans out. The well-known player, Order, star-studded player, in fact, in Order. Has had so much success and consistent success over the years. Order versus Silas, that could be a very, very fun matchup.
We can check in as well, of course, with our reigning champions at the minute. Alpha 7. Got Mafioso doing a bit of scouting work as well, the only player separated away. Squash, another big talking point that we'll develop into over the course of the event as well. Ciari's performing here. Bit of a new look. It's like 25%, I think, the maths on that one, Blank. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's always been the case for Alpha 7, is just finding that fourth player has never been easy for them. Squash is returning to the game after a year. Took a little bit of a hiatus from it, but they immediately had him back. Fair play. It is unfortunate to see McGrellin not in the roster, though. McGrellin was a player that they had found massive success with internationally, and I thought, that they would work with him, but I just think the team did not gel, despite the ridiculous amount of success they were able to find over at EWC. So yeah, weird. Weibo Gaming is going to give up the chase here, though. They're going to head down towards that south side. I reckon Kaya don't take any casualties off the back of that one, which is good to see.
Obviously, threw the highlight out there as well towards Falcons early. You can see they've had a relatively unscathed path up to this point. Going to go for the crossing as well on the bridge here. So potentially a bit of an opportunity for a skirmish to come up. AX as well making their move in now, coming over towards Painan. Again, not really had much of an encounter since. Nice to get the overview though with the map screen. You can see New Circle coming in and the shift for our teams here.
It's a cool shift as well on the circle. I've never ever seen a Lukawi finish in my entire time of casting PUBG Mobile. So we can go east again, end up in Lukawi. I'd be very, very happy. I think I've seen every other finish here on Sandhawk other than Lukawi. 5 looks. Falcons are heading up here. I don't know how they're able to get towards this position unseen.
Man, that's an instant knock as well. Now, Valo being able to pick up pretty big impact onto this. Yeah, that's crazy. It felt like actually with the position they were in, there must have been some kind of visual contact from it. Really not ideal. 3 quick nades of the cast out. 2 knocks. Got 1 back over onto the Falcon side Blank, but for what it is, a bit of a messy encounter here.
I think the Fireflux, if I was looking at, I think they tried to regroup from that northwest side and then come back down towards Cave to get together. The Falcons have been so silent on their approach, despite having the vehicle as well. So you imagine hear the end, surely. And we're going to get our circle closing in just roughly 15 seconds. We're heading over towards the east side of Quarry. Now, Quarry is a big problem, Jackie, for a lot of these teams. It's low ground in there. Don't particularly want to head towards that position. There's a lot of sight lines from that eastern side of Quarry that are on the high ground looking down into Quarry, so you have to either go above on the north side or down towards the south, but it's going to funnel teams into awkward scenarios. So Falcons already taking out the majority of Fireflux. It's beautiful for the Ralph. Okay.
Oh, mate. You say taking out the majority, they might actually just take them all down at this point. Being able to track them all down there, perfect peek in, gets the drop on them, literally. Now, there has been a bit of a proverbial dinner bell that was rung, and that's AX on the rotate over. They would have heard some of this gunfire release, trying to at least carve a path back around. Don't want to half commit to this, seeing the Falcons are up on high.
I think it's a smart move from AX. I mean, the cave is a messy area to try and push, try and play around, get those third parties in. You don't have exact location either. So I think for AX just to head ahead, you know, and they realize this is clean. We're not getting in contact with absolutely anybody on this rotate. So they get ahead. They sit on the edge of Quarry. And Falcons need to make a decision on how they want to play through. A lot of times on this circle, they actually shift down towards the south side here, Jackie, before moving up towards the north. So I'd be interested to see how they do play out these next moments. 4 Thrives. They won their fight over towards Hutton versus Power earlier on, and now have come into contact with Weibo Gaming. Now, that's kind of interesting to me, right? If Weibo Gaming didn't spend so much time over towards Cow, potentially they were here a little bit sooner than 4 Thrives, but felt like the end of the game for 4 Thrives here was just to get into the circle ASAP.
So it is a bit of a split as well with the scout. So we'll see if he can make his passage safely. The solo head count, obviously Scarface, the only man left from the squad after the cave shenanigans that we saw, tucks himself in, and then you have Easy on the long old quest. He tanked himself up, late loot, just trying to make his way down. Obviously that was Power Gaming losing absolutely everyone bar Easy in the opening few seconds.
Come on, let's head north. Let's head north on this circle. Show me one Lukawi, please. Fun area of the map right now. You got like a lot of high ground that slopes down over towards Kampong, over towards the Kari itself. It's a little bit open on those high grounds as well. There is more buildings down towards that eastern side, but that means you are picking up the low ground early on. If you have to move out, that area is a death sentence. Playzone takes down Toshvik. Now that is interesting. I don't know how that's happened for Regnikaya. They have really damaged on their escape outward.
And you cannot afford to dilly-dally. It's time to lock in. And they're going to have 2 teams ahead of them as well. So the pathway forward is going to be a bit rough. Toshvik on the knock. You've got Weibo as well with the damage coming over the top. Before I get into close combat here, I mean, potentially the DPS. You've got the crossfire set up just on the doorway, but it's the nade usage that could make the world of difference. A few of them are back pocket. Already a bit of splash damage over. Slight peek on the angle. Oh, hang on a minute. This really is a dinner bell. You got the third party just on the top of the ridge as well.
The thing was this though, Jackie, this is exactly what I was talking about. The Vision has made their way on over, and there's Volt already finding T24. There's Angdon Galacticus finding Regnum Kai, the entirety of them as well. Goodness me, just waiting for them on the wings there.
Yeah, fragmented, one knock into Toshvik, everyone else just being shot at from 2 separate sides. It really does start to crumble. This was 4 Thrives who were setting themselves up to get the third party down from the top of the ridge. Like you said, they've been ran up on, and it's not looking good whatsoever. Quickly, they are dispatched. Mopped up like a spilt drink, Blank.
It was a great push through from Vision. Honestly, Volt does a huge amount of work in that instance. I'm surprised that 4 Thrives fell for that so suddenly, and I think that's because they got a little bit too aggressive down towards the position early. And that is always the difficulty with taking that high ground, that your back is not protected. Horror though, no fear. Certainly feeling it now, it's a little bit. Soaz from DRX, of all teams, down towards the south side of this, actually getting slightly involved. And it's nice to see, you know, Horror getting aggressive, because it's exactly what Neptera talked about on the dares count. Teams maybe see them as a bit of a passive team, but no, they've got a little bit of a bite to them.
Oh yeah. Don't want to get those hands too close, they'll bite back. It's rough for Order as well, how he was setting himself up. Actually quite nice with the cook on the nades. You can see he was trying to just go in for the knock, didn't expect the shot from the side, instantly downed and then fully committed because of it. Yeah, DRX might actually have a little bit more to say about this one, the longer it develops as well. You've got a good read on it. Oh, hang on a minute. Alpha 7 now dropping over. Mafioso trying to bail out. Damage comes through. Quick damage on the Carrillo. There's the pre-nade as well. Oh, nearly, mate. Couldn't get it through the window.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nade you should not be missing here in EWC, right? I don't think you should be missing those kind of nades. For Alpha 7, now they're surrounded. Revo, Mafioso, keep things under wraps. Team Secret, they're coming over towards that building, over towards Revo is. He's got a big task ahead of him.
It was a cook on the nade, cast it out, doesn't look like it's going to be on target. Vision as well, scrapping. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side of the feed, it's all kicking off. Damage back down onto 4 primes. That was the replay that we had there with the real action here. Let's see how it goes.
There's 4 teams in this compound, dude. It's unbelievable. You've got Yangon Galacticos, Alpha 7, Team Secret, E-Arena, all battling for control here. I think Team Secret